All right, let's jump straight into this explainer. We're going to tackle a massive, yet totally solvable stumbling block in the English language. We're looking at a grammatical trap that catches pretty much everyone at some point, whether you're a native speaker dashing off a quick email or a language learner trying to express yourself clearly. Today, we are mastering ed and ing adjectives.
Think about this classic conundrum for a second. Are you bored or is the movie boring, right? Both of these adjectives come from the exact same root verb, bore. But man, using the wrong one changes your entire meaning. Imagine looking at a friend and saying, I am boring, when you actually meant to say, I am bored. Yikes. Instead of telling them you need some entertainment, you've accidentally just insulted your own personality. You definitely don't want to do that.
So let's look at Section 1, the core adjective rule. Here is the foundational formula you need to commit to memory. Basically, you use an ed adjective strictly to describe how someone feels. It's an entirely internal experience. On the flip side, you use ing adjectives to describe the person, the thing, or the situation that actually causes that feeling in the first place. The formula is incredibly straightforward. Ed equals the feeling itself, and ing equals the cause of that feeling. Let's see this in Section 2, Examples in Action. All right, picture this. You're sitting in a classroom listening to a teacher explain a really fascinating subject. This is Example 1, the lesson. Notice the stark contrast here. If you say, I am interested in the lesson, that ed ending means you are actively feeling the interest. It describes your internal state of mind. But if you say the lesson is interesting, you're pointing directly to the external source causing that feeling. You are interested specifically because the lesson itself is interesting. The lesson is the generator of the emotion.
Now let's apply that exact same logic to a high-energy sporting event. Moving on to Example 2, the football match. Think about the dynamic between the roaring crowd and the game on the field. Saying the fans were excited describes the raw emotion those fans felt right in that moment. It's their internal reaction. But the football match was exciting describes the actual event that caused the thrill. You can almost hear the contrast when you emphasize it. The fans were excited because the match was exciting. The ing is the trigger, right? And the ed is the emotional result.
For our third scenario, let's look at something pretty much all of us experience after a long, grueling day. Example 3, the job. When you say, I feel tired after work, you're talking about direct physical exhaustion. You're describing your bodily state. But my job is tiring means the job is the specific culprit causing that exhaustion. Actually, think about what happens if you accidentally mix these up. If you say, I am tiring, you are literally telling people that you cause them to feel exhausted, probably not the vibe you're going for. Just remember, you are tired purely because the job is tiring.
And this builds into a much wider application. Section 3, Common Adjective Pairs.
You see, this grammatical pattern maps perfectly to vocabulary you use literally every single day. We've got bored and boring, excited and exciting, tired and tiring. But it goes way further than that. Confused and confusing, amazed and amazing, frightened and frightening, relaxed and relaxing, and surprised and surprising. Whether you're deeply confused by a confusing map or totally relaxed by a relaxing vacation, the structure is rock solid. It remains perfectly consistent. You feel the ed because of the ing. Before we wrap up this explainer, let's lock in a mental safety net. Section 4, one final reminder. So if you're ever mid-sentence and suddenly unsure which word to use, just hit pause for a second. Ask yourself, am I talking about the emotion itself or the thing creating it? If you state, she is worried, that strictly describes her internal feeling. But if you say the situation is worrying, well, that describes the external cause. A worrying situation makes someone worried. It all comes down to cause and effect. Burn this formula into your brain. ed for feelings, ing for causes. It really is that beautifully simple. Lock this in and I promise you'll never be boring or bored when speaking English again. So as you carry this forward into your daily life, think about the next time you describe how you feel to a friend. Will you be clearly communicating your true emotions, or will you accidentally describe yourself as the cause?